and that is the site of my only hole-in-one ever. I almost had one with you and I playing 2 weeks ago on the fifth hole.
Yeah.
That just skirted across the front of the hole. That was close. That's my only hole-in-one on number 8, and that's a special hole. Welcome back, podcast patrons. Another episode of Leave the Pin podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dan. Got a special guest on today, national and world-ranked junior golfer, the par 3 king himself, Drew Patascher. Drew, what's the good word?
Nothing much, really. Good to be on. Been wanting to be on for a while, so nice to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. You were kind of born into it, and now I think your game finally rivals that of those that have been on the show in the past. So today's all about par 3s, right? You are known as the par 3 king. As a high schooler, you were invited to play in the prestigious Beaver Bend Collegiate Invitational. You played that as a freshman, your freshman year. So we're going to go into today what makes par 3 so great, what makes par 3 courses so great. And then at the end, we're going to finish up with each of our 3 favorite par 3s. So Drew, let me ask you right off the bat, what's the best thing about playing a par 3 course? Why are they gaining popularity, especially amongst kids your age?
I mean, I think kids at my age, they love excitement, and having 9 or 18 chances to make a hole-in-one is more exciting than anything else.
Yeah, that's a great point, and let me ask this right off the bat. If you make a hole-in-one on a par 3 course, you counting that towards your overall, career total of hole-in-ones made?
Yeah, 100%. If I hit it once anywhere, if I'm playing cross-country golf, a 20-yard par 3 shot, if I hit it once and it goes in the hole, it's a hole-in-one.
Yeah, I like that. I think the only time it doesn't count is, let's say you're playing mini golf or even like a full grass, mini golf course. I wouldn't count that at all. But if you're taking a swing with an actual golf club and it goes in the hole, that's definitely a hole.
Yeah.
All right. So most people know, and they've been following the podcast, that our home course, which you work at, you're, the infamous cart guy at Indian Mountain Country Club. They're installing a par 3 course, 9 holes, varying lengths from 45 to 115, 120 yards. Going to be a great addition to our practice facilities over there, especially for the golf team. What are you most looking forward to for the par 3 course?
I mean, it's going to be fun. Obviously, the chance to make a hole-in-one, but really good practice. The greens are going to be firm, so good practice with firm and fast conditions. So that'll be nice.
I think the older that I get, the more I love playing par 3 courses. It's the easy walk. It's not physically challenging. Not that I'm unable to do that at this point in time. But, it's one of those things that I think brings so many people together. You can have plus handicap golfers, 30 plus handicap golfers, people that are just getting into the game and learning the short game can all kind of compete at that same level. What have been some of your favorite par 3 only courses that you've played?
I've played the Cradle, a great course in Pinehurst. I mean, obviously one of the better conditioned par 3 courses. And on the other side of the spectrum, Beaver Bend in the central Pennsylvania. It might not be the best condition, but some quirky holes, small greens, short holes, longer holes, a lot of variety. So, I mean, as long as it's variety, it's for me.
All right, so let's get to the Cradle real quick. Kind of the king, the epicenter of not only the golf world, but par 3 courses in and of itself. The Cradle kind of set the blueprint for what a par 3 course should be. They went the route of piping in music through the rocks, playing barefoot, 7, 8 people in a group. They have the beverage train that's off to the side now after the U.S. Open. That's a permanent fixture. You recall last time when we were playing this summer, we had guys gambling on us, right, up at the beverage train when we were on hole number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a great communal, familial environment. Do you have a hole there that sticks out that's any of your favorites out of those 9 holes there at the Cradle?
My 2 favorite, I like hole 2 and hole 3. Hole 2, probably one of the tougher holes in the course. You have to hit a really nice flip wedge. I mean, crazy green, crazy contours in the green, tough to stick one close. And then hole 3, uphill, kind of a 3/4 bowl. You can hit it 5 yards past, no roll, give it a chance to go in. So that's an exciting hole.
Yeah, hole 3 is my favorite because it plays up to the halfway house up there. You've always got people sitting around the fire pit. You got people sitting on the Adirondack chairs. And I think that's probably the easiest hole to make a hole in one on, maybe that in five.
Yeah.
That actually was my closest ever attempt at a hole in one on the cradle, which spun back off and, what did that stop? Maybe 6, 8 inches,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
going in the hole. So you mentioned the cradle. We talked about how it's, you know, beyond manicured. It's brilliant. But every summer, a little event happens with touring pro Garrett Angle, former Division One golfer, out in Central PA, and you get some of the best Division One and top tier collegiate golfers. They come out to this little rinky-dink Beaver Bend course, and you guys play 72 holes in a day, full leaderboard king tournament and everything. And you've played that now as a high schooler, one of the only high schoolers in the field. Give me a little bit of a breakdown of that tournament and your experiences with it.
I mean, it's a great tournament. It's really a marathon. I mean, it takes place over probably 7, 8 hours. A lot of great golfers there. Some people maybe not the best, but I mean, the average just competition in that field is crazy. You got to shoot something. I think the winner last year was something 25 under over the 72 holes. So I mean, you got to shoot something good. The greens are incredibly small, probably the size of like a dining room table.
And
They roll.
it's not, that's not an exaggeration. You hear that at times, like you hear people say, I think Jack Nicklaus always talked about Pinehurst number 2 as pretty decent sized greens, but the landing area was the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. Some of these greens legitimately are smaller than like half the size of someone's living room. I mean, they're literally microscopic. Some of them are so small there's literally only 2 pin placements on them.
Yeah, and I mean, they've all got contour, so I mean, small greens you can putt off of them if you misjudge the speed. So I mean, but on the competition aspect, I mean, there's probably 20 plus D1 golfers, 40 collegiate golfers, maybe 10, 15 high schoolers playing in it. And I mean, it's crazy. They treat you good. They give you a first tee gift. They give you food the whole way. So I mean, it's just an amazing time the whole day. Good people and good golf too.
And how would you assess your playing this year in it?
I mean, I thought I did pretty good. I think I was second or third high schooler. I was able to get a top 15, so that'll be an invite back to the tournament next year, I think. I think the winner this year was 7 under. They kind of spiked the course conditions up a little harder, and I think it was 8 over. I think it was 2 over, 1 over, 3 over, 2 over for 8 over.
Yeah, the scores definitely peaked this year. They were not as low as last year. I'm sure they had a few USGA illegal holes
Yeah.
cut into those greens.
Yeah, some of the pin positions were crazy. I think I can remember hole, I think it is 11. It's after the downhill par 3. You hit it, and it's almost like what is it called? A Buritz green.
Mm-hmm.
And they have it on the back section, but the back slopes away from you. So, I mean, you can't stop. You have to land it you gotta land it in like the crevice and then let it
Like in
creep
the
up.
swale there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think there was a kid that made 9 on that hole. Because I mean, there's a creek to the right, there's a tree that overhangs, so you have to hit a low shot, so you're not going to get that much spin. And I mean, just crazy tough hole. You'd be happy to get out of there with a par, really.
Yeah, if anyone's ever played any of those greenskeeper revenge tournaments that sometimes superintendents do at private clubs, some of the holes are literally cut like that. They're set like that. They make it so it is extremely difficult. No one gets out there unscathed, right? There's all
Yeah.
even the winner is going to have a triple or a quad on the card at some point in time.
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah, I think
I guess I kind of buried the lead here. We talked about hole in ones. Do you have a hole in one at all?
I don't. Few close calls. I think I
Okay.
lived out once for a hole in one, but not yet.
Gotcha. Well, you're young still. You're 16 years old, so there's still plenty of time left. And your golf career is literally just starting to take off.
Yeah.
So let's get into this being a quick par 3 episode, and par 3s are fast, and this episode will be that way. Let's get into our 3 favorite par 3s that are out there. Give kind of yardages, explain to the people where they are, and what makes them so interesting. So let's kind of shotgun back and forth. Why don't you hit me up first with your first one?
My first one, I have Tot Hill Farms Golf Club, hole 15. Shortish par 3, can play, I think, 140 yards from the tips all the way up to 88 yards from the front tees. I mean, crazy hole. The green slopes from back to front. There's almost a three-fourth mound, is like a stadium surrounding the hole. There's a waterfall back there, water short too. And I think my favorite part about the hole is walking down. You walk in the steps that are carved into the mound.
Yeah, big shout out to Uncle Robbie at at Todd Hill Farm for always taking good care of us. That's an amazing hole. Visually, it's fantastic. And what I love is the hole right, what's that, 13, the hole before it, is this great sweeping par four that as you get to this elevated green, you already see the par three behind it. So you're putting
Yeah,
on this green that runs off in every direction. And then in the back of your mind, you're like, wow, I've got this incredible tee shot coming up, to the waterfall and to the par three. And, I think what makes that stretch even better, the hole before that, what's that, 12?
13, the one with the rocks to the
13,
right.
50, yeah. Yeah, the one right before that is another kind of short to medium length par three with a ton of trouble everywhere. So you go, 3-4-3, and that's a great special piece of the property right there.
Yeah, none of those holes easy either.
No, not at all. You walk out with, a 3, a 4, and a 3, and you're extremely happy.
Yeah.
All right, so my first hole is near and dear to our hearts. It's the Indian Mountain Country Club, our home course. It's hole number 8. Plays 146 yards, but it plays that on the card only. It's about a 100-foot drop off to a green. Plays about 120 yards. Difficult green to hold in the summertime because it gets so dry. We've got some kind of shaggy bunkers in the front and everything. And that is the site of my only hole-in-one ever. I've never had another one, except I almost had one with you and I playing 2 weeks ago on the 5th hole.
Yeah.
That just skirted across the front of the hole. That was close.
Yeah, it
But
was.
yeah, that's my only hole-in-one on number 8. And that's a special hole. And what's great about that is that's like right smack in the middle. We go par 5, that par 3, and another par 5. So it's like if you can get up to that section of the course in even, or even let's say one over, maybe one under, you got 3 holes that you can score on before you make the turn again to get to the other 9. So
Yeah.
I love that hole. That's great views of the mountains and the farmland all around. It's
Mhm.
fantastic, especially in the fall right now. All right, what's your
Yeah.
second par 3?
My second par 3 is gonna be Pinehurst number 10, hole 17.
Okay, well let's discuss because that's mine as well.
Alright, so, I mean, I think it's a great reward and kind of an easier hole after, what is it? Hole 15 can play up to a 305-yard par 3.
Yep.
I think hole 14, that is. Hole 15.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
14 is the crazy par 3 there. It's nuts.
Yeah, hole 15, water carry. You can make an eagle, you could also make a triple there. And then, hole 16 is one of the harder par 4s on the whole entire property. That could probably get stretched out to 480, 490 for the tips.
Yeah, on a par 4, I'll tell you what, that is probably in my golfing career the furthest walk back to a set of tees that you have to take from the previous green. I mean, it's legitimately 200 yards
Yeah.
from the 15th green to walk back to the tees on 16. If you're playing anything past the whites back there, it is an absolute brute. You know what's funny? That's another hole. Maybe this is an architectural thing, a trend that has a very wide open green that
Mhm.
you have an expansive view towards the next par 3, just like Tot Hill does.
Yeah.
You've got. I tell you what I love about 17. If you've played number 10 or have been fortunate to play it a bunch of times, like we have, the different varying tee boxes make that hole play completely different each and every time. So what are our distances? What's our short and our long there?
So I think our short there is going to be 104, and then it can stretch out to 178.
Okay, and the 104 brings the front bunker into play because that
Yeah.
tee's usually down to that bottom right, and then the 170 makes it a complete full carry over the water, and then having to decide if you're going to split the bunkers or carry that. And you know what? A lot of times the par 3s, once you get on the green, that's the most difficult part. Well, at Pinehurst number 10, getting on the par 3s doesn't necessarily guarantee a par because the greens are so undulated, and 17 is no exception.
Yeah, 17 split up into 2 parts there, kind of a spine in the middle of the green off that bunker. I mean, you catch it 3 feet right of that spine, you could have a 60-foot putt that breaks 4 ways up the hill.
Yeah, and that's a very difficult green to read, especially when you're putting down towards the water. I'm sure there's some local knowledge there, like everything breaks towards, you know, the fat part of the pond, or maybe
Yeah.
everything breaks towards the bridge or something. You know, I what have we played it 3 times now, and
Mhm.
I don't know that local knowledge yet. I don't have.
Yeah. Another thing about it, there's, like, bunker short, kind of a pot bunker almost, that juts
Right.
into the green. It looks like you're playing out in the sand belt in Australia, playing Royal Melbourne there, so that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It almost looks like a bomb went off, right?
Yeah.
And like someone dropped a grenade in the middle of the green, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden, the front portion of the green, now it's a bunker. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a very cool aspect.
yeah. Definitely it's not an easy hole either.
No, par, par in any par three is really a great score. I know people have this mindset of like, well, it's one shot, I should be able to flag everything. But when you get to the top levels, like the par threes are not the scoring holes.
Yeah,
The par fives and the short par fours are the scoring holes. You get in there, hit the green, make a par, and just move on.
yeah, for
So
sure.
my next one is one that I've played twice. You've actually had the privilege of playing it as well. It's the 12th hole at Dormy Club. Um, that's this super short par three, can be 84 yards to 113. It maxes out at 113. Again, it's got this sand waste area that is very prominent in the sandhills of North Carolina. It's got 3 bunkers and then this green that just is insane. And I played that with some very good golfers. Rich from Gas House, my buddy Dan Urban, who's a caddy out on tour, and at what's Dan's club? The one in Maryland, Drew,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the guy.
Caves?
Yeah,
Caves
Cays
Hudson?
Valley. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, caddy at Cays Valley, and then Matt Mathena, another single handicap golfer. We get to this hole, and me having the most homemade awkward swing in the world. I'm the only one that makes par here. It was one of those days where they've got the pin cut back right in the shadows. Now you're taking on the waist area and this big front bunker, and man, I stuck it and almost made par. I almost made birdie, and then after almost making birdie, barely made par. Right, so
yeah,
that's how you know you've got a great par three. It's like easy bogey, super difficult birdie or par. That's a
yeah,
great example of par threes.
I'm pretty sure the one time I played that, I chunked it about 60 yards into that waist area. Just a
That
bunch
is
of bushes
correct.
there, prickly bushes.
Yeah.
Tough to get out of there.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, especially like the real long hitters, that's a flighted or three-quarter wedge. Like I can hit like a full gap wedge there and be fine and be on the green. But, guys like you that are pounding the ball, 290, 310, you're taking, three-quarter sand wedge there and trying to flight
Yeah,
something in. All right. You have another one? Do you have a last one?
yeah, so I've got hole 14 at Saucon Valley Country Club. It's a forced carry over a ravine. I mean, probably I'd say 100, 150-foot drop off, really.
Yeah, that's a cavern. That's a ravine and a half
Yeah.
there.
I mean, it's a small green, slopes hard left to right there. It's like a plateau on the left side. So, I mean, if they put a pin there, tricky, tricky par because everything around the green shaven closely too. So, and it's almost like hole 5 at Pinehurst number 2. If you miss it anywhere left of that green, you could be down 60 yards to the left.
Yes, I know that. I know that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've played that a few times at Saucon Valley and in junior tournaments there. Have had some success. Actually, why don't you tell the story of the par you made in the last tournament, which was just insane.
Yeah. So probably I blow it probably 60 feet short, and then I flub my chip, and then 40-footer up the hill. I just drain it for par. So I mean, scorecard doesn't have any pictures.
No, I love that. It's not about how it got there. It's just about it getting there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, good job on your first pod ever. If people want to follow you, give them the Instagram handle.
It's gonna be Drew Patascher on all socials.
It's On all socials, there you go. Follow his golfing career. You know what, kid? Maybe you'll take this over one day. Hit him with the tagline.
Best get busy golfing or get busy dying.
All right, peace.